talk about being a powerful person. So, right now I'm reading the book Keep Your Love On from Danny Silk, and it is one of the best books ever. And I wanted to hop on and just talk about the concept of being a powerful person because this is what he's outlining in this book all the time. And I remember reading it like 2 years ago, and I got so triggered. And now reading it from a different perspective and a different level of consciousness and development, and just feeling so at ease and at peace is so cool. So he's basically talking about that we need to be powerful people in our relationships. We are whole and complete people who nourish their garden and therefore bring fruit in order to nourish ourselves and have something of value to offer to other people. Because if we don't take care of our garden, we will always want to get something from other people and be consumers, but don't have anything valuable to offer to other people. So that is one thing. And then he's talking about codependency. And codependency basically means that I am working harder on your life than you are working on your own life. And he's consistently talking about that this is not love either. This is not love for the person who is not working hard on their own life, and it's not being like love from the person who works harder on the other person's lives, because they become a consumer of the other person's life. When I read that, I was like, what? So often I have seen myself and other people like giving so much like to others, and then being so exhausted and burned out, and then being mad at the other person and saying I did sacrifice so much and that's like love and I did so much for you. But he's saying that is not love. You're consuming the other person's life and they cannot enjoy their own life and take responsibility. And he's consistently talking about the power of responsibility and that we are responsible for our garden. And that basically means we are powerful people and we take responsibility for our life and for our garden in order to flourish it and to grow it. And how does it look like? He's talking about that we take responsibility for our emotions and our needs. And a lot of people are making the mistakes that we want other people to know what we need and to give us what we need without having to communicate it. And he's outlining that even God, who knows our deepest secrets and our deepest wants and desires, wants us to ask him and talk to him about what we want. Because the mere act of communicating our needs and getting them met from another person in response to communicating it is a relational exchange that is building trust and intimacy. And so often we have this immature style of wanting to get our needs met without needing to communicate them. And when I read this, I was asking myself, from all the times where I did not get my needs met, how often did I actually clearly communicate what I really want and what I really desire and what I really need? And I found myself that most of the time I did not communicate it and therefore didn't receive it. And this can have multiple reasons, right? If in our childhood our needs were consistently not getting met, then we develop the belief that people don't care about our needs and people don't care about us. And then we are not communicating them, and therefore we see in our lives that our needs are consistently not getting met, and therefore deepening the belief that people don't care about our needs. But when we start believing that other people deeply care about our needs and they're happy if we tell them what we desire and need to meet them, then this is like a completely different level of intimacy. And then also being able to control our own emotions and to control our own feelings and take responsibilities for them. People who are not able to control their own emotions and feelings are very, very dangerous, and it's very dangerous to be in an intimate relationship with them because they cannot control themselves. And when people can't control themselves, that's when they try to control other people. And he's consistently talking about that we don't need to try to control other people. That's what powerless people are doing. They're trying to control their circumstances and people around them in order for them to feel good, in order for them to feel safe, in order for them to get their needs met. And powerful people, they take responsibility and take control of their emotions, and they know the only person I can control, and he's writing on a good day, is myself. And when we know this and we remember that I cannot control the other person, but I can control myself. I can learn to control my emotions. I can learn to take responsibility for my actions and for my needs and communicate them consistently, clearly. And yeah. And the other thing he's talking about, that when we communicate our needs, we are vulnerable. And that's why a lot of times it's hard for us to communicate our needs, because we fear this vulnerability. But only then, when we're vulnerable, we're able to deepen our intimate relationships and therefore connections in our lives. And when we are meeting other people's needs and they meet our needs, then we have an intimate connection and we both do it in love. But we can only do that. We feel overwhelmed by the needs of other people if we are not nourishing our own garden and bearing fruit that is nourishing to us. So, if I have nothing of value in my life because I did not take care of my own garden and I gave all my resources for free away to other people, then my garden is empty and I become a consumer. And then your needs will overwhelm me because I'm scared I'm not going to have enough and not going to be taken care of. But if I nourish my own garden, and that is like, I take care of myself, I take care of my life, I take care of my needs, I take care of my health, my relationships, my body, my finances, my education, I take care of it, then I have so much value to give that I can freely give to you. And a lot of people feel very selfish about taking care of themselves and putting themselves first. But it is very selfish to not to do it, because if we are not taking care of our own garden, then we have to become a consumer of other people, because we need fruits, we need nourishment, we need to get our needs met, we need to survive. And we're going to be an unpleasant person to be around, and a person that other people need boundaries for, so we don't take everything from them. So he's also talking about the importance of boundaries and healthy boundaries, and especially as Christian. So in church, a lot of people are working, doing a lot of things for free because they want to help, they want to be helpful, they want to love people and be there for them. And it's all coming from a good heart, but we need this in connection with taking care of ourselves and having boundaries and being able to prioritize our intimate relationships and our relationship with God first. Because when we are constantly giving and our cup is getting emptier and emptier, it affects our closest relationships, our relationships to God, our relationships with our wife, husband, with our I don't have kids yet, but I don't have a husband either. But that's what he's talking about, with our children and with our closest relationships. And we basically saying that other people's needs are more important than our needs and our family members' needs. And this is very, very, very dangerous because they will learn that serving is sacrificing and overgiving, which is not. And he's talking about that as a powerful person, we have boundaries and we have priorities, and other people's needs don't control our boundaries and our priorities. So, for example, he's sharing an example where he's a pastor and somebody is calling him and saying, "My wife just left me. I need to talk to you right now." And he has like a game, like a basketball game with his husband, with his son scheduled, and on the next day they have their family day, and he calls him 2 days later because his priority is his family, and this is a committed task that he has in his calendar. And even though this person's making pressure and is saying, "I need to do this right now," his priorities are controlling his life, not other people's needs. And this is what powerful people learn to do, is their priorities control what they're doing, their time. And powerless people are saying, "I don't have time, I never get to have a time." We all have time. We all have the same amount of time. It is our priorities and the way we set boundaries and the way we manage our time and our energy that makes things work or not work. And as powerful people, we take responsibility for that. And our priorities that we need to have clear and need to be clear about are controlling our time and not our other people's need and the pressure they like putting on us for that. And then he's calling this guy whose wife just left him, and he's saying, "I need to talk to you right now." And he's saying, "Yes, I have an appointment in 2 weeks, and then we can talk for a whole hour." And of course he doesn't really like it, but his schedule does allow him to talk to him in 2 weeks and then take the time for him. And it might seem harsh, but a lot of things can be super urgent and we still need to stick to our boundaries. And if we have the capacity before that date, then we can do that. But just like remembering the quote he wrote, "My priorities are controlling my priorities are controlling my life, not other people's needs." Which does not mean that we're not there for people, but we take care of our own garden, so it is nourished and it's flourished and we have value to give. And then he's talking about that we will attract people who will be powerful people as well, who nourish their garden and their life, and then we come together and we exchange value, because I have value to give to you, you have value to give to me, you're a whole and complete person, and I'm a whole and complete person. And then we both can just be in a healthy and intimate relationship. And then there are people who will be very attracted to what you have to offer, but they don't have to have anything to offer themselves. And they will become consumers. And we need to learn to set boundaries for people like that. So they will be very attractive to what we have, but they're not putting in the work themselves in order to flourish their own garden. Therefore, they want to consume what you have produced. And it might feel like for a small time, like you can impress them, or it's like charming that they like you, but they consume your time, your energy, your resources. And it is important to set healthy boundaries with these people. So the book is so incredible good. As I said, it's called Keep Your Love On from Danny Silk. It is just the key to learning more about having healthy and intimate relationships. And he's also talking about that when we are super hurt and we fear other people, we're just in a state of victim mode and powerlessness. And in order to have a healthy relationships, we cannot stay in that mode. We cannot be a powerless person. We need to be a powerful person. And it is so empowering, this book, because it is such a healthy way to just look at intimate relationships and connections. And he's also talking about something that is called the trust cycle, where we have a need, we express the need is getting met, and then the trust is being built. And when we do this over and over, we trust the other person, and if we do this for the other person, then they trust us more. And being able to build healthy trust in intimate relationships is the key and so super important. And yeah. And then he's talking about communication, which is so important and so good. And he's talking about that there are different styles of communication. There is the aggressive communication, which has the underlying belief, I'm important and my needs are important and you're not, and your needs are not important. Then there is the passive aggressive communication style, which has the same belief, my needs are important and I'm important and you are not. But it is not everybody knows what's passive aggressive. It's not in your face aggressive, but it's underlying. And then there is the assertive communication style, which is I'm important, my needs are important, you are important, your needs are important. This is the healthy one. And then there is I can't remember right now what he called it, but the powerless communication style, or the passive communication style, which is I am not important, but you are important. And often the aggressive and the passive are coming together because they agree upon one thing. The one person believes I'm important, you're not, and the other person believes I'm not important and you are. So they both agree that person A is important and person B is unimportant. And they have this unhealthy relationship where this person is constantly consuming from that person and that person is constantly giving. And this is super unhealthy because it is out of balance. And the assertive communication style is my needs are important and so are yours. And let's communicate in a way that we can find out what your needs are and how I can meet yours, and what my needs are and how you can meet mine. And he's talking about that we need to learn to understand and know ourselves and be so self-aware. What are our needs? So I can tell for myself that because I had a lot of childhood trauma, I really, really, really suppressed my needs because it did not feel safe to have needs. Because not having needs was more safe than having needs because they were maybe punishment or just non-positive and safe reactions to my needs. So I learned to stuff them down. And therefore, it was hard for me to actually know what my needs are and to recognize them. And over the last years, I learned how to really understand and feel in my body what are my needs, what do I need right now, what do I need when I'm crying, what do I need right now, just to make myself feel good and to increase my overall level of well-being. So that is super important to learn. What are my needs? This is a journal prompt for you. What am I needing right now? And what do I need in my daily life in order to increase my overall well-being? And you'll find out that maybe you need more sleep and you consistently did not meet your need in this way. Maybe you need more exercise, you need more healthy food, maybe you need more rest, more relaxation, more pleasure, more fun in your life. Maybe you need more structure in your life. Maybe you need more hugs from other people. And once we realize, for example, I really need physical touch, like hugs, like cuddling, and I really need it. And I really suppressed that need. And once it came out more, I can just say when I'm sad. Often when I'm sad, I do not want to talk about it, because I just need a hug and I want to be safe and secure and like taking like just like feel cozy, and then I'm fine. So what I learned to first, I become self-aware that this is what I need, and then I can communicate with like the person in front of me, which I trust. Hey, I really need a hug right now, and then they can decide if they want to give it to me or not. And then if they do decide that they want to give it to me, then I feel loved because they meet my need, and this builds more trust and security in the relationship. And he's talking about the communication styles that when if another person is communicating in a disrespectful way for us, we're not controlling them and saying, don't talk to me like that. We're just saying, if you talk to me like that, then I have to leave this conversation. So we don't control the other person, we control ourselves and our own action, because we are a powerful person that is taking responsibility for their own life, their emotions, their feelings, and their needs. And just learning to communicate in a more powerful way, and therefore feeling more powerful and being more powerful, is so cool. And I would say I've actually learned to do this more, and I am learning to do it more and more and more, and I'm genuinely so thankful. And yeah. And one thing he's also talking about, which is for me, sometimes I realize I still have I do it, but it sometimes hurts in my heart still to do it. If we have loved ones, like family members, close friends, who are consistently draining our energy because they are in a state of powerlessness, I always wanted to help them, but they need to decide it for themselves. And you cannot do much more than just like helping them to reflect on it sometimes, but to set boundaries and say, hey, I like just don't spend as much time with them, even though it might be hard, because if somebody's consistently draining our energy and taking our resources, like emotional, energetic, we just feel depleted and we don't have as much to give to our other relationships. And the other thing that he's saying is, if a powerful person's in front of us, a powerless person's in front of us, or just in the state of powerlessness, and the person's like in victim mode, and it's like saying, nothing's working, everybody's so mean, like, I just got fired, I just did this, I just said this. It's like, be like, what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it? Because that shows that this person has power, and it makes them think about, what could I do about it? Because we as human beings, we're more powerful than we can think. And this is the kindest way of helping people. And the book is so good. I really love it. I hope there was some information that really helped you, because I just love this book. It is so good. It's so informational. It is so valuable. And I just realized how much I profit from investing into my relationships and deepening my connections and healing my attachment style and working on my communication style and just being a more healthy individual and showing up even more healthy in relationships and building healthy connections and relationships. That is just so cool. And it just brings so much peace and just enjoyment, and I'm just so thankful that God has led me on this path, and I'm just so passionate about it because I know how much the quality of my relationships impact my life, and I'm really thankful. And it also helps us to overall just have a more and better and just more amazing life and be a more confident person, and therefore achieve more with less work energy because we became this person, we embody it. And if you desire to build your confidence and rewire your brain in order to be more confident, to feel more confident, then you can check out the link in the bio. I have created a workbook that is designed to rewire our brains, to help you change to think, help you change to think, help you change your thinking, help us to rewire our brain and our beliefs about ourselves, our abilities, about what we can do, about our competence. And it also has journal prompts, some exercises, and some affirmations, and space to create your own affirmations in order to, let me tell you, I have personally seen my life completely change just by doing my inner work and by changing my beliefs and changing what I see myself doing. I have seen, or actually, I've watched Vera Birkenbiel like last week with my friend, and she was also talking about perception, and our beliefs shape the way we see the world and how we act. And by just changing my beliefs about myself, my self-image, what I can do, what I'm competent, like just my competence and my abilities, I can go after so many different opportunities. I can go and do like so many things so much easier, because the level of confidence defines what we allow ourselves to do and the opportunities we allow ourselves to receive. Because if we don't think that we can do it, other people won't believe that we can do it either, because we're radiating this energy of insecurity and unsafety, and they will rather choose somebody who's like giving up this energetic, magnetic vibe of confidence. And so, and even if you think like, no, I'm already confident, I think increasing our confidence, we can always do it, and at every level, at every stage. And a little bit of more confidence can make such a big difference long term and in the results we're getting. I realized when I just had a little bit more confidence to just ask for one more thing, to ask for one more opportunity, for one more conversation, for one more, something about finances, it made the result like, it just made the result like 500% differently. And it is just crazy how much confidence affects our lives and affects how we move in our lives and how we show up in our life and in our relationships. So if you desire to get this workbook, then you can check out the link in the bio. And yes, I would be so excited if you get it and see your life transform. And also, I have created on my website, feminineandrich.de, a spot with free resources where I will put up some notes I have taken, especially from interviews, because I am going to create more interviews with entrepreneurs and inspiring personalities that I want to hop on and just let them share their knowledge with all of us. And sometimes I don't film the conversation, but just take notes and then come on here and share what I've learned. So this will be available and is available. And yesterday I had my first call with a female entrepreneur from Indonesia, and she just didn't like to be on camera and upload it. So we just had a call. I wrote down some questions. I answered them. She answered them. I wrote it down, and we talked about negotiation, about finance skills, about sales, about networking. And then I have uploaded this now on my website. It's called The Spirit of an Entrepreneur, and we also talked about that. And you can download it for free. The link will also be in the bio. And I've created a whole YouTube video on the learnings I had talking to her. And the link will also be in the bio, so you will have all the links. And yes, I'm so excited to see you in the next video. Give this video a thumbs up, like and subscribe, and I'm excited to see you soon. Bye bye, much love! And if you know somebody who should listen to this and be an even more powerful person, then send this video to them.